and welcome to our virtual gardening program. My name's Diane Jaroch, and I'm the Assistant Director and Adult Services Librarian at the Irvin L. Young Memorial Library in Whitewater, Wisconsin. Today we are going to be taking care of our feathered friends. It's that time of year where it's really cold and snowy here in Wisconsin, and we need to make sure that our feathered friends have some food and some fat and high energy protein to help keep them going all winter long. First thing we're going to make today is a birdseed wreath. Then we're going to make some bird suet cakes. And then I'm going to show you how you can make some different bird feeders so that you don't have to go out and buy one that could be a little pricey. You can just use items that you have in your house. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to demonstrate today is the birdseed wreath. Now I have the recipe for that. It's very simple. It uses some Knox Gelatin or any brand of gelatin, some birdseed. I've bought this Katie brand of Birder's Birdseed blend. This is good for all different birds that are around this time of year in Wisconsin. And you'll need some cooking spray to spray your pan. The pan that works really best for making this wreath would be like a nice cake pan or a bunt cake pan for making bunt cakes, but I did not have one of those. Last night I experimented and I used a spring foam pan, which didn't turn out the best, so today we're going to try something different. Let's get started with the recipe and then I'm going to demonstrate. The recipe calls for 2 envelopes of the Knox Gelatin, which equals about 4 tablespoons, a cup of water, and you're going to put the gelatin and the water in a pan on the stove and heat it up just until the gelatin has melted. Then you need 2 cups of birdseed, and that's all you need besides the spray in the pan. I have right here, I have the gelatin and the water. It's still warm, just took it off the stove. So let's get started. I'll move my birdseed out of the way. So I've got 1 cup of water, the 2 envelopes of the unflavored gelatin, and we're going to add 2 cups of birdseed to that. And then all we have to do is mix that up. This is really easy and it's such a nice treat for the birds. This mix of birdseed I have has sunflower seeds, some cracked corn, and other birdseed. A little later I'll be giving you a recipe for making your own birdseed if you choose to do that at home yourself. We have that done. So today I'm going to use this pan, and I'm just going to use a tin can. I sprayed my pan, I sprayed my tin can, and put this in the middle so that I can make a wreath. And then all you have to do is take your mixture, birdseed, gelatin, put it in the container. And like I said, a bunt cake pan would really work the best for this. And something you could do to save a little money, go to a resale shop, Goodwill, and pick up one. Or perhaps, you have a relative who has one laying around the house that they never use. And that would work well too. Which this has led me to know that now the next time I'm out at a resale shop, I'm going to look for a bunt cake pan so I can make my own wreaths. So I've got it all packed down in there. Just use my fingers to get the rest of the birdseed off. It's a little slimy. I'm going to wipe my hands over here. So this is how this looks. Birdseed, gelatin, water, sprayed the pan. I put a can in the middle. Now I made one of these last night. I haven't taken it out of the pan yet, so let's do that together. I'm going to set this aside. I guess I should tell you what you do after you make this. So after you have put your birdseed and gelatin in the mold, you need to refrigerate this for about 2 to 4 hours. And then when you take it out, you put a piece of string around it and hang it up outside. Put that aside. Now this is the one I made last night. And the reason I say it didn't work out is because the gelatin kind of seeped out of the bottom. As you can see, some got on the cardboard. There was even more seeping out. It seems to have held together pretty well. So I did pop it. And we're gonna take that out. Let's get the can out of the middle. Maybe, there we go. Oh, here, interestingly enough, the middle of the can, that gelatin settled there in the middle. But here we have our wreath. And that came out nice. The back, gelatin, birdseed. So now all I need to do is to take my ribbon and my scissors that I see are hiding way over here. I'm going to cut some ribbon off. You could use cloth or any other string or something. They do suggest to use that ribbon or a strip of cloth would work really well. And you want to hang this at least 5 feet up from the ground so that the birds are safe and predators can't get them. And there you go. A nice, quick, easy, tasty, pretty inexpensive treat for your birds. Hang that on a tree branch. I know my birds are going to be so happy. I've had so much fun watching them this winter. I'm going to read you back that recipe one more time, and then we'll get started on making our own bird suet cakes. Okay, the recipe for this is a cup of water, 2 packets of the unflavored gelatin, which equals about 4 tablespoons. Put that on the stove, heat the water up and put the gelatin in, let that dissolve. Get a pan of your choice, spray it. Refrigerate for 2 to 4 hours. Take it apart and hang it up. Another thing you can do, I just need to find it, is you can also use cookie cutters. Instead of making it into a wreath, you can pack it into the cookie cutters and put a little, poke a little hole or stick like not a toothpick, but the toothpick would work too. Anything to make a little hole, and then you can hang up the little ornaments. Bird seed ornaments hanging from the trees would be really cool. So that's another thing you can do with that recipe with the bird seed and the gelatin. Okay, so moving along, let's get busy with our suet cakes. The suet cake recipe that I'm using today uses lard. However, I also have a recipe for vegetarian. So you can either use coconut oil or any shortening that is not palm oil. You want to steer clear of palm oil. So we have our coconut oil or lard. I'm going to use the lard today, but I will use this for another time when I make the suet cakes. The recipe for the suet cakes, and these are peanut butter suet cakes, 1 cup of crunchy peanut butter. And I just happened to get the Smucker's Natural Crunchy Peanut Butter. Cup of crunchy peanut butter, 2 cups of quick oats, 2 cups of cornmeal, 1.5 cups of lard, a cup of white flour, and 1/3 cup of sugar. You start off by taking your 1.5 cups of lard and your cup of peanut butter and put it in a pan on the stove and melt that on a low temperature. I did that beforehand. You can see it's all melted. And then you add your other ingredients. So we are going to have our flour here. 1 cup of white flour. We have our cornmeal. 2 cups of cornmeal going in. And there are a few pieces of birdseed that fell out of my wreath. Pick those up. 1/3 cup of sugar. And we need our oats, 2 cups of oats. And I pre-measured the oats in this. So we're going to add the oats. And you can use regular oats or you can use quick oats. It doesn't matter. Both work. Okay, now we're just going to mix all that up. It's easy to mix up. I feel like I'm making cookies. It smells good too. The peanut butter smells really good. Just about got that mixed up. And then you need to figure out what kind of containers you want to put these in. Once you have this mixed up, you will freeze this for 2 to 4 hours, maybe longer. I froze it overnight and that worked really well. You do want to freeze them between wax paper. If like you take them out of the molds and you're going to keep them in your freezer for a while, you want to put wax paper in between the layers so that they don't stick together. You can use a tuna can, you can use square shaped container. I used this shaped container, put one in there. I used this nice container that the mushrooms came in, and this is how it turned out. I froze it and it turned out, and I have one of those square suet holders, so this is going to fit in there very nicely. I also had a little lunch container for a sandwich, so I froze one in there because again I have the square suet holder. But you can get creative and use whatever you want. I'm going to get this out. Ideally, you want two about 1 inch thick. My holder is thicker, so I can go up to like 2 inches. And then you just spoon that in, pop that in the freezer. Very easy. And the birds have nice homemade suet. It's very important this time of year. They need that extra fat and the sugar that's in there for the calories to help keep them going. Now let me read that recipe back to you. These are peanut butter suet cakes. 1 cup of crunchy peanut butter, 1.5 cups of lard, and those you are going to melt on the stove. 2 cups of oatmeal, 2 cups of cornmeal, 1 cup of white flour, and 1/3 cup of sugar. You mix all that up and then you put it into your little containers, and when you're done you'll have these nice little blocks of suet for your birds. Another thing you can do with the suet, you can take it and you can spread it out on the bark of the trees. You don't even need a container. That way, especially when it's cold out, just spread it on the bark of the trees and the birds can just peck it off of the sides of the trees. Let me give you the recipe for the vegetarian, the one that uses the coconut oil. Birds don't care. They don't care if it's animal fat or vegetarian fat. This one calls for 1.5 cups of shortening. Pretty much any kind, but it needs to be palm oil free. That was not very bird friendly. 3/4 cup of a nut butter, any kind of nut butter. I used peanut butter, but you could use almond butter, cashew butter. 3.5 cups of the wild bird seed. 1 cup of quick oats, 1/2 cup of cornmeal. And this calls for an ice cube tray because some people do use the ice cube trays to freeze the suet in. It just doesn't matter, whatever container, whatever works for the way that you put your suet out for the birds. You can get very creative with this recipe. The next recipe is for your homemade birdseed. Let's say you don't want to go to the store and buy birdseed all the time. Although I will tell you right now, at Ace Hardware, I was able to buy 1 bag of birdseed and get 1 free. So that was a pretty good deal. But let's say you want to make your own birdseed. Here's the recipe for that. 1 cup of black oil sunflower seeds. Birds really love those black sunflower seeds. 1 cup of chopped plain peanuts. 1/2 cup of striped sunflower seeds. 1/2 cup of cracked corn. And 1/8 cup of dried fruit. Birds love the dried fruit. Raisins, apricots, whatever you have. Dates, they love it. Now, once you've got the food for the birds, you got the suet out there, and maybe you've got your bird seed, you made your own bird seed, and you need something to put that bird seed in. Let's make some bird feeders. I've got quite a few of those for you. First up, water bottle. This was just a water bottle. I took the water bottle, I took the cap off the water bottle. Of course, I washed this out, dried it out well. And for this, I put a little screw in it, a hanger screw. It has a name, I'm sure. You could also put string through here, yarn, whatever, twine, tie a big knot in the bottom. You could even like put a button or something to keep that knot and keep it sturdy. Very simple. Put a hole on one side, and right across from it you do another little hole, and then down a little further you do the same thing. And I use chopsticks. You can also use wooden spoons. Those work really well. Just something that the birds can perch on. Then you want to take above that perch a quarter size round circle. Cut that out so that the birds can peck at it. And before you fill that up, after you cut that hole out, you want to put some masking tape over it so that the seed doesn't spill out. I also read that you can just make the holes bigger that the perch is on and the seed will kind of fall out. But I kind of like the idea of putting a hole, a dedicated hole for them to get their beaks into. I just kind of decorated this a little more, put a little washi tape around it. You can also use milk carton. Take the milk carton, cut a couple holes, you know, 3 sides. The lid, again, take the lid, make a hole in the top, put a hanger on it, or put the twine through there with a big knot to hang it up. Fill it with your birdseed. You could even put some chopsticks or something through that if you like, and then you have a bird feeder made out of your milk jug. Now, I'm sure we all have a bunch of toilet paper rolls hanging around. Remember when we were all hoarding toilet paper? Well, I hope you saved the little rolls from the inside because you can feed your birds with these. To do that, we're going to take some peanut butter and some birdseed. Really easy. And you can get fancy and hang these up if you want, but I tell you what, you take this, you spread the peanut butter on it, and you just stick it on the branches, you know, the ends of the branches hanging off. And then you roll this in birdseed, and my goodness, the birds are going to think that they have an exotic treat. Little do they know that you're using a discarded toilet paper core. Okay, so I've got some peanut butter all the way around. As you can see, this doesn't take any time at all. It's kind of creative. And then we're going to take our birdseed and we're just going to roll this in it so that it sticks really well. I'm going to put some all over it. There we go. We're just rolling this in. And I have birdseed on my table. That's okay. There we go. Peanut butter, birdseed. Put that on the end of your branches. We'll pretend like this is a tree branch, and you're just going to hang it off like that. The birds will come and eat it off. They don't care how they get their food. As long as they got the food, they don't care how you're presenting it. Along the same lines, you can take a dried piece of bread, spread it with peanut butter on either side, dip it in your birdseed, hang it up. You can take a bagel, spread it with peanut butter, dip it in the birdseed, hang it up. Another bird feeder, quick and easy pie, disposable pie tin. I took this pie plate, I cut 3 holes in it, and I just put some ribbon in there, and now that's all ready for me to put a little bird seed in. Hang that up outside with the bird seed in it. My birds are going to be really happy because they're going to have kind of like a smorgasbord to choose from. That's our projects for today. why don't I read those recipes off for you one more time so that if you didn't get a chance to write them down, you can. So for the birdseed wreath with the gelatin that I have, you will want a cup of water, 2 envelopes of plain gelatin. Put that on the stove, heat it up. Then you will add 2 cups of birdseed. And you can put it in cookie cutters, you can put it in cake pan. Just be sure you spray them so that you can get it out easily. For our homemade bird seed, you need a cup of black oil sunflower seeds, a cup of chopped plain peanuts, 1/2 cup of the striped sunflower seeds, a 1/2 cup of cracked corn, and 1/8 cup of dried fruit. For our vegetarian suet, you need 1½ cups of shortening, that is palm oil free, 3/4 cup of nut butter, any kind, 3½ cups of wild bird seed, a cup of oats, a 1/2 cup of cornmeal, and then containers to put that in. And for our other peanut butter suet cakes made with the lard, we have 1½ cups of lard, a cup of crunchy peanut butter, 2 cups of oatmeal, 2 cups of cornmeal, a cup of white flour, and 1/3 cup of sugar. And that, we have plenty of food for our birds now. Thank you for joining me today, and be sure you join me next time when we discuss how to care for your houseplants and which houseplants are going to work best this winter. Thank you for joining me.